Hey everybody, it's Bruce here from Stock Markets with Bruce. Welcome to my channel. It's about a month old now and really appreciate you folks following me. Today's video, July the 6th, 2020, I have kind of a two-part video. Part one, 4 reasons why the stock market could go higher. Part two, why the stock market could go lower. Isn't that the proverbial debate? Today is Monday. And the market is up 360 odd points for the Dow. Number of stocks are having just a wonderful time. Tesla and Apple and Amazon shares are doing very well. There are 4 reasons being tossed around as to why the markets could go even higher. And let me just read these off. These are in no particular order. But the first one is that investors believe that a V-shaped economic recovery is going to happen. They believe that, we had the lockdown, and New York area got shut down pretty hard there, and naturally business slowed down. Other areas of the country slowed down. Many parts of the planet had lockdowns, but it's going to go away, and when the economy comes back, there'll be a bit of an elastic band effect here. There'll be a dramatic, tremendous demand for products. Maybe people have held off buying cars and that kind of thing. So, we're going to have a V-shaped recovery. And investors believe, if they believe that, then they're thinking that share prices will go higher because, of course, we'll see economic activity like we saw last year in 2019. Number 2, investors believe that the U.S. government, the Federal Reserve, will keep flooding the economy with cash, and that Congress will work out a deal for another stimulus package. And the mentality here is, the Fed has been offering a lot of cash to banks to keep the economy greased up. Lots of money flowing around, so that's not going to hold up the economy. They're going to keep doing that. Congress is going to bring out, another serious $1 trillion+ deal. Perhaps another stimulus check for all Americans, or extension of unemployment benefits, or loans and grants to companies to ride out the downturn. But investors are just convinced that the U.S. government's going to step up and come through again. Third reason, the investors out there believe that the virus, the so-called second wave of the virus, won't be anywhere near as bad as the first wave. They're convinced that we've seen the worst of it. The worst came and went, and there'll be a little second wave, but it's just not. It's not going to be a big deal, and it'll be shorter. We won't be as panicked about it as we were the first time around. And as soon as the second wave peters out, boom, here we go. The economy's going to come back, and the stocks are going to go higher. And number 4, a vaccine is coming. All of these scientists out there, all the drug companies, they're doing all this research. There's a vaccine for sure. In the next 6 to 12 months, it will be announced, it will be tested, it will be available, and the future is bright. And so those are the 4 reasons why investors are kind of convinced that the market is going to go higher. And today, 366 more points. The Dow's at 26,179. It's only about 3,900 away from its all-time high. NASDAQ has already hit a new all-time high. S&P is approaching its all-time high. The Dow is right behind it. So investors are convinced better times ahead. Okay, here's part 2 of the video. Why the stock market could go lower. Number 1 reason that could kind of upset the party. Corporate earnings will be much worse than thought. This month, July, we're going to receive a whole bunch of financials being released by public companies. They're, in effect, their second quarter numbers are going to be released, and a number of public companies, a high number, have already suspended guidance. 3 months ago, they were basically saying to the street, we're not even going to guess how much money we're going to make or not make for the rest of the year because this pandemic is unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this before. And the analysts out there and the investors are out there are kind of giving the companies a pass. They're saying to the public companies, we know, everybody was locked down, economies were shut down, airplanes, flew at 2% capacity, cruise ships were docked, but we'll give you a pass. We don't think it'll be that bad, and then when business comes back, it'll be great again. We're not going to really worry about it. But if these numbers start coming out in the second quarter that are really, really devastating, and then companies go forward and say, yeah, our third quarter and fourth quarter, we're not so sure we're going to reach anywhere near what we saw before. It might well be that corporations are going to say, yeah, we're going to recover, but it might take 2 years and not 2 quarters. And that could be bad for the market. Number 2, no V-shaped recovery, but a long hockey stick recovery. If you don't know what a hockey stick looks like, think about a golf club, like a one wood. You got that down dip, and then you get that long, slow recovery. It could well be that the U.S. economy and the world economy recovers, gets back to 2019 levels, I should say. But it might take 2 or 3 years. And that, if the street gets that kind of a vibe, that would be bad for the stock markets, because right now, folks, the stock market is priced and is pricing itself for a dramatic turnaround economically in a real hurry. 2 quarters, 3 quarters max, but 2 quarters for sure. And if that is not going to be evident, that is looking like it's not going to happen, this is not going to be good. Third point, the second stimulus package either won't be enough, won't be large enough, won't be wide enough to support enough people to bring a strong economy back. This is an election year in the U.S., and you can just imagine right now how many lobbyists have been going up and down the hallways of Congress, the Senate, to talk to all of their, representatives to make sure, each industry wants to be sure that they're included in the next stimulus package. This is, after all, free money, taxpayer money being handed out with not a lot of strings attached to it. Airlines are supposed to not lay off any employees until October under the first stimulus package. But American Airlines, for example, has already told the press, we're kind of 20,000 employees too heavy right now for the amount of business we're seeing, even this fall. So unless a second stimulus is done that basically throws the airlines another $50 billion, most of it for free, they're going to start laying off employees. And I don't know if Democrats and Republicans will be able to get together to pass another one of these blank check deals. If individual Americans don't get stimulus money, how many will not be able to pay rent? How many will be evicted? How many will lose cars because they can't handle car payments? What will the repossession situation be like? There's a lot of speculation here that this second stimulus package, the talk is $1 trillion or so. The first one was $2.2 trillion. There are some people out there saying that the second one should be $4 trillion. Because the first one really only lasts like 3-4 months. I don't know if there's enough political horsepower anywhere to make something like that happen. We're going to have to watch it. We will watch that. All right. Next point, number 4. The virus second coming will be worse than the first one and will last longer than the first one. This is the unknown that no one's talking about right now. The markets are moving up. They're moving higher. There's a lot of optimism out there. But there are ominous signs, if you look hard enough, happening out there that are kind of hinting that this isn't just a little old cold or anything like that. This virus is a lot worse and could be much, much worse the second time around. Even now, states like Florida, Texas, and California are seeing numbers that New York really didn't see. Florida's doing worse now than New York was doing at the worst of it. and Florida hasn't topped out. The experts are saying, oh, no, 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 no. The way the folks are acting and behaving in Florida, the way businesses are being allowed to operate, the way the governor won't shut down that state, you haven't seen anything yet. Experts are also saying stuff like, what's happening in Florida right now, in Texas and California, that isn't the second wave, That's still the first wave. It's just that the first wave took a little longer to get down there from the New York area, because New York got hit first because of all the airplanes coming from Europe and the Middle East, and of course LA got hit and Seattle got hit. But these southern states, they were spared the worst of it for months, and they had their chance to shut down, just like New York shut down, and really lock it out, but they didn't. They didn't do it, and they opened up way, way too early and way too quickly. And now look what's coming, and this is still only the first wave. So we'll watch this very carefully. If there's a second wave that hits New York, and New York does an immediate shutdown, because New Yorkers know the first shutdown definitely slowed things down. If a second wave becomes apparent, they'll do a second shutdown immediately to limit it in its tracks. But that could stop any economic revival coming out of the Northeast, which will infect the rest of the U.S. economy even worse. And of course, with the rest of the U.S. economy in the middle of the first problem, then having a second problem with the virus, we really are on the edge here of some trouble. Keep an eye on Brazil and other countries as well. All right, the last point I'll make is the vaccine. What if there isn't a vaccine in the next 6 to 12 months? What if all the market optimists who are out there saying the market's going to go higher, they're wrong? What if it takes 2 to 3 years at best that a new vaccine comes along? We could be talking about wave 3, 4, and 5 before we get to a vaccine. How many hundreds of thousands of people might perish just in the U.S.? How many millions, tens of millions, will get this virus worldwide and even in the U.S. before any kind of a vaccine comes in? And what about those so-called anti-vaxxers, the ones that won't get a vaccine no matter what? There's a lot of questions here to be answered, that remain to be answered, and at the moment I can't answer them. I can only tell you the market today is up, and the optimism is muting the pessimism. But there are these 5 negative things out there that cannot be ignored, and we'll watch and see what happens. In the meantime, folks, thank you for supporting my channel, Stock Markets with Bruce. Thank you for giving my videos thumbs up. I love your comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Should we be optimistic or should we be pessimistic? Tell me what you think about this, and we'll talk to you next time, everybody. Have a good one. Bye for now.